Okay, so for the rules of multiplication and the rules of division, so these are the rules that I'm going to introduce regarding positive and negative number. So it's actually very easy. It's almost the same like the rules that I introduced in the previous example. Okay, so for the rules of multiplication, CP primary school, right? All you learn is positive times positive. So positive times positive will always give you positive, nothing spectacular. Okay, so right now, you're going to be doing things like negative times negative. So negative times negative is like the two negative guys meeting each other and they cheer each other, like I mentioned. Then for what if you got one positive guy and one negative guy? As long as you have a positive guy and a negative guy, so the negative guy is there, you will get a negative. So as long as there's a negative guy in the multiplication, you will get a negative. So if you ever forget, right, you can just try using calculator. If you forgot the rule, you can use calculator to help you. So maybe you can like punch -4 times 3. You go and punch your calculator. Your calculator will give you a -12. So this is effectively +3. Negative and positive will become negative. So if you forget, right, this is what you can do. Please remember to put bracket if you're using calculator. So if you forgot what does negative and negative give you, you realize that it will give you a 12 on your calculator. So this 12 essentially is a +12. So negative times negative becomes positive. So it's almost the same idea as the rule that I was introducing you. Okay, so rule number 1, when everything is positive, it will just be positive. It will be the same for division. Positive divided by positive is positive. Basically, these two is nothing new. You have been doing it in primary school. Because primary school, you only see positive number. Okay. If you got a negative number divided by negative number, that's like two negative guys meeting each other. It will become a positive number. It's the same thing. The two positive guys meeting each other will end up being positive. But same logic, if a positive number divided by negative, it will end up negative. So as long as there's a negative guy here, it will just be ending up as a negative value. So a negative number divided by a positive number is the same thing. You will still get a negative number. Okay, so I think that's quite easy to remember if you think about that. So you've got to train your brain to associate. Okay, so in this case, right, okay, how are you going to do this kind of multiplication? Okay, so for example, 10 times -2. Just now I mentioned that there's always an invisible sign for all the whole number. In fact, all the decimal as well. So that is equivalent to plus and minus. So the plus and minus will let you get a negative. And the 10 times 2 will be the 20. Okay, so you apply the rule first, then you do the multiplication of the numbers. So in the next one, right, it's the same thing. When we multiply by 2, that's as good as multiply by +2. So the negative guy meets the positive guy. So as long as there's a negative, it will be a negative. So 10 times 2 is 20. So in the next one, I have the double negative. So these are the two negative guys meeting up. So the negative guy and the negative guy, when they meet up, they become positive. 10 times 2 is still a 20. So when you present the answer, you just present it as 20. Okay, so the negative guy and negative guy become positive. Then you just multiply the number. So it's the same for division. So when we do division, there is an invisible sign, then. So the positive and negative will become negative. 10 divided by 2. Okay, I'm sure you can mental the 10 divided by 2. That will be a 5. Okay, so basically we just keep repeating the rule. So minus 10 dividing by 2 is as good as dividing by positive 2. So look at the guy first. Negative and positive. That will be giving me a negative. Then you mental 10 divided by 2. So the thinking process is always look at the sign first. Then we handle the numbers. The next one are both negative. So the next one are both negative. So that is the one that I mentioned. When the negative guy and negative guy meet each other, they become positive. 10 divided by 2, which is a 5. You don't present your answer as a plus 5. You present it just with a 5. So these are the rules that helps you. So generally, very simple, 2 negative guys become positive. So 2 negative guys cheer each other up and they become positive. But subsequently, if there's any one guy that is negative, whether is it multiplication or division, right, it will become negative. So train your brain to think of this. All this must be in your head with no careless mistake.